Oh no. We're good.
All right, welcome back. Another video today. In today's video, we are going to talk all about how to get that crispy, perfect lay in your hammock.
So you just have the best night's sleep ever.
As someone who's just starting out hammocking, there's nothing more frustrating than having to tweak all these different little things around to get that perfect lay. So today we're going to impart some truth bombs and some things we have learned about all these tiny little things you can do to get that perfect lay so you sleep great in a hammock. Tip number 1, you gotta make sure you have the correct tightness on your ridgeline, and that is something that I have found to be the most important predictor of how well the lay feels to me. You can't have that ridgeline too tight, you can't have it too loose. If it's too tight, your hammock's gonna lay like flat like that. If it's too loose, your hammock's gonna lay like limp like that. It's gotta be just perfect. And what we mean by perfect is you should be able to grab it and you should be able to bend it kind of in a 90-degree way so there's some workability to it. And do not make the mistake of testing your ridgeline when you're sitting in your hammock. You need to be laying in your hammock with the hammock supporting your entire weight before you check that ridgeline. But it's gotta be just perfect. Not too tight, not too loose, and the way you adjust the tightness on the ridgeline is you adjust your suspensions. So if your ridgeline is too tight, loosen your suspensions on both sides. If your ridgeline is too loose, tighten your suspensions on both sides, and you want to equally tighten and equally loosen your suspensions so your ridgeline is tightened and loosened perfectly with each side.
Would the distance between the trees also have something to do with that?
And we're not to that point yet.
Oh.
That's point number 3.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I just get in it and I just go like this.
Yeah. Point number 2, and actually is one of several points that have nothing to do with the actual hammock itself. You need to make sure your underquilt is on and adjusted properly. There's nothing more frustrating than that underquilt moving around on you. You need to make sure if it's super warm outside and that it's vented. Most of the time, if you have a 20 or 30 degree underquilt, you're not going to be camping when it's even close to 20 or 30 degrees. So you have to vent it properly, adjust what I call the tertiary suspension on the hammock. That's a term that nobody uses. In addition to making sure it's vented properly, you should look into some sort of pack hook situation.
Yeah.
Our old hammocks didn't have pack hooks on them. The Chameleons do, several hammocks do. If you don't have pack hooks, you gotta do what they call the underquilt grab, where you're constantly reaching outside your hammock and pulling your underquilt up, and that's super annoying. It's nice to be able to move around and the underquilt just locks in place.
Yeah, I would just say if you're in your hammock and you feel like a cold spot or it's unusually hot, rather than just trying to sleep through it,
no, you gotta adjust it.
Get out and adjust it.
Yeah.
Just get out and adjust it.
So make sure you're using pack hooks if you have them. If you don't have pack hooks, maybe look into some sort of pack hook system. Make sure your underquilt is vented properly. Tip number 3 in the underquilt realm, consider a full length underquilt. We're not going to make judgments on what length you should get, but consider a full length. You won't have to worry about trying to stick something underneath your feet if it's cold out.
It's a little easier to use.
It's a lot easier to use. You can set it and forget about it, but there are obviously advantages to getting something like a 3/4 length, but consider a full length. Tip number 3, and this is gonna be the most common thing you're gonna hear when it comes to hammocks. Making sure you have a 30-degree angle from your trees. I say that like in a jesting way because I have never checked the angles on it whatsoever.
No.
The rule of thumb is you want one of your hammock angles to be 30 degrees. If you go by ridgeline tightness, you're probably gonna get 30 degrees anyway, but try and eyeball 30 degree. You can use these 2 fingers to kind of go, "What's up, brah?" and get a 30-degree thing right there. That's what people do. You can buy a little thing, a little hangle that sits on your suspension.
Cool.
They are pretty cool. To see if it's 30 degrees, you want at least one of your angles coming off those trees to be 30 degrees. In addition, when you're setting up your suspensions on your trees, you want the carabiners coming off of the same side of the tree We'll have some fancy little B-roll right now that'll show what we're talking about. That puts an equal amount of stress on your suspensions. Additionally, you want your hammock to be, you want the body of your hammock to be positioned equally from each tree. We'll show you what that means right now. You don't want your head end to be closer to a tree or your foot end to be closer to a tree. The last little comment we'll make when it comes to messing with the hammock in relation to the trees is most of the time you want your feet end to be a little bit higher than your head end. I say that, but it honestly, there's a high amount of personal preference there.
I get the science behind it.
The science is there's a sweet spot in your hammock, and by raising your feet up, it slides your body into that sweet spot. It has nothing really to do with your feet being higher than your head. It's just if your feet are higher than your head, your body's gonna slide more into that sweet spot. But if you know where that sweet spot is and you're already laying in it, your feet don't need to be higher. So it's one of those things like the 30-degree thing where it's a good rule of thumb, but just make sure your feet are a little bit higher than your head. They don't need to be crazy higher, and at the end of the day, whatever is most comfortable for you. Tip number 4, and this is something that might not be obvious to a lot of people, but if you have tie outs, use your tie outs. If you don't have tie outs, get some tie outs and tie out your hammock. You'll read a lot of hammock manufacturers say you don't need to tie out your hammock. Tying out your hammock does two things. One, it eliminates any sort of sway in your hammock, which can screw up a lot of people when they're trying to sleep. And two, when your hammock is tied out, it pulls out both the foot box and the head end, and you get much more real estate in your hammock. And it just makes it a more comfortable experience. So use your tie outs, and if you don't have tie outs, consider adding some tie outs, because if you have D-rings on your hammock, you can buy some and throw them on there. But use the tie outs, they're on there for a reason. So the last tip, tip number 5, is something that most people don't talk about, but it's something I got from one of Shug's videos, and it has helped me significantly. And it's, if you're in your hammock and you're sleeping on your back, put something like a stuff sack filled with a jacket or something and put it right underneath your knees. It doesn't need to be big. That does two things. One, that eliminates any sort of calf ridge you might feel in your hammock. And two, for me at least, it puts me in a more comfortable sleeping position.
Always gotta have some good cat B-roll.
If your knees are bent a little bit, your legs won't lock up. And if your knees are bent and you're on your back in your hammock, I think it's a little bit more of a comfortable sleeping position. And then a nice little thing it does, and this only matters in the fall and the winter, is if you have items you need to keep warm, like batteries or a bottle of alcohol or anything like that, and you don't want to sleep with them in your jacket because you might roll around on them, is you can stick them in that stuff sack and they'll stay warm in your hammock. But that has been something that's helped me tremendously in sleeping on my back. It's something as small as just putting something underneath my knees and kind of just bending my knees just a little bit, and you get rid of calf ridge totally, and I think it puts you in a more natural hammock sleeping position.
I sleep on my side, so I've never.
Yeah, and if you sleep on your side, obviously you can't do that, and I don't think you need to do that if you sleep on your side, but most people, I think, sleep on their backs in hammock, and consider putting something underneath your knees. All right, well, that's our 5 things. Making sure you guys get in your hammocks and have the perfect lay, because like we said earlier, there is just nothing worse than getting in there and tossing and turning all night long and sleeping like crap. Utilize these things, kind of tinker around, find what works best, but if you use these 5 items, you'll probably sleep better. And as always, let us know your tips for getting a perfect lay in a hammock. You know, the thing about hammocks is they're so modular and customizable, and they're so different, and each hang, I've never had 2 hangs that have been exactly the same.
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff's trial and error too that we've learned over time, and so hopefully it's able to help you out.
So thank you for watching. Remember, like, dislike, subscribe, unsubscribe, and for that juicy behind the scenes content,
So juicy.
so juicy, check us out on Instagram.